Hi guys, welcome to today's video. I want to share a little bit about expenses and monthly budgeting. I want to emphasize how important it is that you guys focus on paying yourself first. That means that if you can afford 20% of your monthly budget to go to savings, that would be for your retirement and for life insurance. I would highly recommend, and the bare minimum should be 10%. Why pay yourself first? Well, you want to have an emergency fund because emergencies happen unexpectedly, and you just have to have that emergency fund so that you don't feel stressed. Because when emergencies happen, we tend to, instead of focusing on solving the emergency, we tend to stress about the finances that we didn't really count with that in our budget, and that brings a lot of stress. So in order to be prepared for those incidents that may happen whenever we least expect them, we should be ready for them. And then the second thing would be for retirement. Now, for this type of information, I would highly recommend you schedule a Zoom with me and get more into a tailored plan on what it looks like for you on a retirement. That way, you not only have life insurance bundled with your retirement plan, you are gonna avoid completely relying on 401k, which 401k unfortunately relies on the market, which is unexpected, and there's losses there. Also hidden fees and highly taxed, about 40 to 50% taxed, and not to mention penalties if you take it out before you retire. So you want to get like a tailored plan on that aspect of retirement, and I can always assist you with that. And then the third thing you would want to focus on for savings would be children's education. If you have kids, you want to save for their college. In this regard, there's special products in life insurance that are accounts that you can create for them, and it can be accounts that are specifically tailored to education, and they can only take the funds out if it's for college. There's other plans that I can help you with as a financial assessor that are more flexible, and you can use them for other funds, other things other than college. But you also want to have a plan installed for that type of purpose. And also you want to save for major purchases that you're going to have in the future that you're planning for. So think ahead of time about them. And also just miscellaneous things that come up that you really want to get maybe. So that would be my major takeaway on your savings, to remember always to pay yourself first. That should be a major priority to have no stress in your life. Today I want to talk about more general budgeting, not just savings and paying yourself first. I want to focus on all the types of expenses that are included in a budget. That would be 4 types in every month's budget. That would be first, fixed expenses; second, variable expenses; third, periodic expenses; and fourth, discretionary expenses. So the first one would be fixed expenses. These are reoccurring things that happen in your life, like mortgage, car payments, student loans, paying back your debt like credit cards, health insurance, if you have child support or child care, and then savings, of course. Like we mentioned, I did a video regarding just savings. And the second one would be variable. So variable means that they usually occur each month, but the amounts are not always the same. So it changes here and there. That would be something like food. It's never a set amount. Utility payments. Sometimes some utility bills are every 4 months and others are every 2 months. Gas. You never know how much you're gonna spend on gas depending on how much you travel. And then household supplies like laundry, kitchen, bath items. And also if you have pets, pet food, that would be one of them. Now the third type of expense is called periodic expense. These only occur once a year or every 6 months or every so often. For most people, they forget all about them. You need to figure out how much each expense is per year or per 6 months, then divide the amount by the number of months in that period. For example, if you pay $300 every 6 months for car insurance, you need to budget $50 per month and save that amount so that you have a full $300 when your bill comes. So some of the examples of periodic expenses would be car insurance, house insurance, real estate, property taxes, personal property taxes, car registrations, insurance like life insurance, disability, or renter's insurance, maintenance for your house or car, medical and dental expenses, and of course, if you have pets, for beds, shots, medications. Now, the last one would be discretionary expenses. These are most of the above items that I'm going to mention are needs, and discretionary that I mentioned so far are needs, and the ones I'm going to mention now are wants. So these are items you should budget for because they're not necessary, right? So these ones are something like entertainment, clothing, vacation, personal care, gifts, charitable giving, or membership dues. Make sure you have a chart that you print out that keeps your daily, weekly, monthly expenses in a chart, and that way you can check to see if there's any items that are being overlooked in your budget. Just make sure you have this printed out and be able to have a gauge on your expenses so you have them fresh. Hi everybody, today I want to share a little bit about the benefits of investing your savings versus spending for fun and paying credit cards. What is the difference? And it's just mind-blowing to me. Okay, so if you have a credit card debt that's about $9,300, which is the average debt that families have currently, you would be paying minimum payments of 2%, let's say. Okay, this is just an example. And then your rate of interest would be 16%. Let's use that as an example. It would take you 43 years to pay that debt off, and you would be paying around $18,000 total. So instead of, it would be double. You owe $9,300 and you're paying $18,000 at the end of the day. So think about it that way. If you're shopping for fun, you're gonna pay twice as much eventually. Another way that some people think about it is if you pay something, you think about how many hours did it take me to earn enough money to buy this item. That's another way of helping you stop from impulsive spending. Now let's go in the other direction. How much you would make instead of paying for debt if you actually use your savings to invest it. So there's so many products you can invest in the insurance industry field that we provide, that are vehicles for savings, for retirement plans. And there's also places where you can just put your 401k, that you roll over that money to a special account, and that account usually has a very good rate of return, let's say usually about 7 to 9%. If you put them in one of those vehicles, for example your 401k, you roll it over to those vehicles, you can make about 8% of return, and in 43 years you will make $290,000. Did you hear me correctly? So $9,300 that you put into an account that gives you a rate of return of 8%. Over 43 years, you'll make almost $300,000 on it. Okay, so you see the importance of the same amount, $9,300, paying it over debt would be paying double of it. And if you used it to invest it in something that gives you a rate of return, you would actually make, I'm gonna calculate how many times more would you make, because it's almost around 300,000. So if you use the rule of 72, I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, that would be 72 divided by 8% of rate of return over 9 years to double. That means you made your money of 9,000 4 times more by getting 300,000. I want to offer some tips to save expenses on entertainment. So if you're using, for example, Peacock, I know for sure that if you attempt to cancel with them and you keep hitting the I want to cancel, I want to cancel, I want to cancel, before you just are in the final screen of assigning that you want to cancel the subscription, they'll offer you right now something like $2 per month for 6 months. So give you like a better deal just to help you stay with them, and that's a big way of saving on that area. Make sure that you always go to your subscription area for Apple accounts or Google accounts, and make sure you cancel all the subscriptions that you're actually not using, because sometimes you just sign up for apps and you forget all about them, and then you can keep being charged every month for them. Also, if you don't mind watching commercials, you can always get the cheapest version of any entertainment. Usually the ones that offer commercials are always around $7. Or if you hate commercials, what you can do is bundle with family members. Now Netflix doesn't allow it, where you have to have all your devices in your home, otherwise they will charge you for a separate account. But before, it used to let you share the code with everybody basically, and just pay a small bill. But other like Netflix is not the one, but Spotify, for example, for music, you can share a family plan and it's less expensive, and they will allow you to create multiple accounts. So for Spotify, it's about $16.99 a month, and you can share with 5 people in your household, so that's a really good price. They just have to live in your address, and each person gets actually their own separate premium account, playlist, and recommendations, which is really good. And just think about another way of saving would be like rotating subscriptions. Let's say this month you'll try out Netflix, the next month you can switch it off the next month to something else like Hulu, and then the next one Peacock, so you can switch it off so that you have more variety and you only get charged for one of the subscriptions. Always try the free trial subscriptions. Just make sure that you always tell them to remind you before the trial is over, so that you don't end up paying for the trial, or put it in your calendar. Another way to save on things that you already know you're gonna be paying for would be buying gift cards at Costco or Target or Sam's Club for things that you're already going to pay for, and it helps you save about $10 instantly. For example, if you know you're gonna pay Hulu every month, you can buy $100 of gift card. Let's say that's what you're gonna pay per year. What you can do is just buy the gift cards and save instantly about $10, because they have some discount, usually about 5 to 20% sometimes on those cards. So today I'm going to be speaking about why it's so important to give money away every month to, it could be, charity or anybody that needs it in your life. I would recommend at least doing $25 a month just to start, and then you can build to 5%. I understand that you want to save money, but there's reasons behind why you should invest in this, okay? I'll share with you why. Number 1 is it activates the law of attraction in your life. Giving sends signals to the universe that you trust there is enough for everybody, okay? It shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. And when you give freely, you attract more positive energy, opportunities, and resources back to you. Basically, what you give is what you receive multiplied. Second thing would be it creates a positive karma. In spiritual traditions, karma is the universal law of cause and effect. Giving from the heart plants a good seed in your spiritual field, leading to blessings, protection, and favor in future situations. Even when no one sees your giving, the universe keeps track. The third one would be erases your vibration. So giving usually gives you emotions like joy, compassion, and gratitude, which are really high vibration states. And these emotions open your spiritual channels, connecting you to more deeply to your purpose and your divine energy. The fourth would be it breaks greed, fear, and control. The reason why is because giving loosens your grip on money. It helps you heal from emotional attachments like fear of not having enough or trying to control outcomes. It also builds faith, knowing your needs will be met often from unexpected sources. And also number 5 would be align yourself with a higher purpose. Spiritually, money is just a tool. When you use it to help others, you step into your higher self. You become a conduit of blessings, not just a receiver. Conduit means a channel or pathway which something flows. Some of the spiritual affirmations for giving that you can use is I give freely and abundance flows back to me. What I sow in love, I reap in joy. And I am a vessel of divine generosity. So 3 major tips on how to increase your credit score, all right? Let's start with first, pay all your open accounts on time. I can't stress enough how important this is. And how do you find out what credit cards you have open? Sometimes we lose track of them. A perfect way is to get a report of all the things you have open. How do you get that for free? Let's go to www.annualcreditreport.com. And this site is a free once a year opportunity to use it, okay? It gives you a complete report of all the credit cards you have open, okay? And you wanna download all the versions they give you, because each version has a different thing that the other one doesn't have. Like, just get all 3 of them to be safe. It's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, okay? And there's 3 ways you can get these reports for your credit cards. First would be instant access through the account online on the website, and you can download them and save them to your computer and make copies of it whenever you want. The second way would be to email it to you directly. And then the third way would be they can send you a copy in the mail, which I've tried and I never got. So I would not suggest that route. And then I would highly recommend that your mortgage is paid on the first. Not only for your credit score, but also for any incident that happens in your house. It's so important. If your house gets flooded or an incident happens, your insurance has a lot of more requirements, and it will limit how much it gives you to restore the home, just because you paid it 3 days late. If it's on the 3rd, you're doomed. It affects you majorly. So make sure you pay your mortgage on the 1st of the month, no matter what. And then secondly would be to keep your credit card balances low. What does that mean? So you want to always spend at least less than 30% of your credit limit. For a credit card that's $5,000, the limit you should spend should be $1,500, never more than that. The third tip would be sign up for Credit Karma. Just don't accept any of their credit cards. It'll help you track your credit score, get you alerts on any changes or fraud, and also see where or what is affecting your credit. I'll be talking about budgeting and how to cut your expenses to achieve your goals. So one way of doing this would be increasing your budget, which is by making extra money. Usually that is what I recommend in my videos. But if it's not easy for you to get like an extra job, extra hours, get a gig, or ask family members to contribute more to you monthly to help, or get an extra part-time job, that's not easy for you because it's the fastest way to get money, then I would recommend then instead just reducing your monthly expenses to be able to balance your budget. One way to distinguish between something you need and you want would be, if you want it, you'll know by these characteristics. If you can live without it, if you can buy a cheaper version of it, if you can use something you already have instead, or if you can just borrow the item from somebody. And also if you can wait without getting it today and give yourself a time window of 2 weeks to find out if you really needed it. If after 2 weeks if you still want it after 2 weeks, then that might be something you really need. Now, one way to reduce your expenses that's a major expense would be housing. If, for example, you move into your dream apartment, but however the HOA fees are insane and you can't afford them, realistically speaking, you have to move to a more affordable place. Or consider, for example, buying a home, just because payments are usually less expensive on homes than renting, and you also get a tax break for owning a home that can be deducted in your yearly taxes. If you already own a home, you can always refinance to make your monthly payments lower. Another way would be on your utilities. So one way could be adjusting your thermostat so you don't spend too much on that, or just making a budget for like an average of how much you spend every 12 months and then divided per month, so that you don't have to worry about that, like about varying about every season the seasons changing your bill. So you can just talk to your company and let them know that you're gonna be doing a fixed monthly payment for you in regards to that type of bill, and usually they accept that, like if you have your own payment plan for that. Another way to save on utilities would be to always turn out your lights, turn off your computers, and then if you don't use the TV, don't leave it on, or whatever you're using for music, and then consider cooking outside in the summer. combining services is always helpful too with cable and phone. Everybody, I'm doing part 2 of budgeting, how to lower your expenses monthly. I'm gonna be giving out tips on that. So tip number 1 I'm gonna be sharing would be transportation. So if you can buy a used car, that would save you a lot on monthly payments, of course. And just make sure that you keep your car up to speed on the maintenance. That way you don't run into big expenses because it breaks down on you, like doing your oil change in time, things like that. Also gas, like don't try to go on premium gas if it's not necessary, if your car doesn't require it. Don't worry about like the brand or the quality of it. Gas is gas, you know. When I worked in the rental car industry, even the most expensive cars would use just regular gas unless it would state it on the next to the gas pump. So that would help a lot with expenses on gas for car. And then your driving habits would help you. It could save you about like 50 cents per gallon if you just change the way you drive. I've also heard this tip from like people that I know that save money and they're really good at it. So one would be never go over the speed limit, okay? So because each time you speed up even 5 miles per hour over the 60 limit, you pay about 10 cents per gallon more. So just keep that in mind. Just avoid accelerating. And also, it also reduces your mileage by about 25%. So avoid aggressive driving. That would mean doing like quick starts and stops. That will also lower your mileage about 30%. So 25% will be reduced by not going over the limit of the driving, and then 33% would save you on not doing hard stops or hard starts. So just be sensitive about your driving, and that'll help you do that. Also, if you work with somebody that lives really close to you, you can always ask to carpool. And then for food, if you want to save on food, just be more strict about not eating out. That's like one of the most things that people spend money on is usually going out to eat, just because they feel lazy or whatever, or they feel like I deserve it. But at the end of the day, it becomes a big expense. Also, just plan out your menu for the week so that your groceries, like, you know what to buy. And make sure you never go shopping when you're hungry, tired, or weak. That will increase 40% of your spending on buying food. And I'm a living example of that. If I go hungry, I'll buy it excessively. Make sure that you use like your groceries rewards program. That will save you a lot of money, and it will add up. Of budgeting and reducing expenses. So one of the tips I'm going to be discussing is food. How can you save on food? You can always stock up on the items that you use a lot if they are like in our lower. Another area you can save on would be entertainment and recreation. So for example, if you're paying for cable but you end up using mostly like Netflix or Peacock or Hulu, whatever, make sure you just take off cable from your monthly payments, just because you don't even use it and it's really expensive. So another thing would be checking out like what are the less expensive activities in your area. That could be, for example, if you have a community center, the gym is more inexpensive there, or there's activities for your kids like swimming for really cheap, like $7 per visit, or they have entertainment centers within the community center that is very inexpensive. Or there's days you can go to the movies that are less pricey, like on Tuesdays some theaters have a special of like 50% off or something. If you go to the theater, make sure that you eat before you go, or you take snacks, so that you don't have to purchase the insanely excessively overpriced items they sell at the theater. If there's like a movie that you really want to watch and you can't go on the days that maybe the theater is not as expensive, you can always just wait for the release to come into Netflix or an app until you watch it. Or you can always just rent it in like Fandango home theater for a more inexpensive price than going to the theater. Also, if you have a gym membership and there's no like community center close to you that has lower prices, you can also consider just walking outside, running. If you have a bike, doing that instead, or just buying weights at home and doing it in your garage. That way you can also save on the weights itself by shopping for them like at a thrift store. That's one of the ways that you can save on gym. Also, if like where you live is really snowy or rainy and you can't work out outside, then I would consider the community gym or YMCA or your local school gym instead of a fancy health club that, you know, just to start it has like a $90 startup fee or something like that, or a yearly like fee that you have to pay. And then for clothing, make sure you can just drift around. Make sure to just like cleanse it out with like sage smoke or something, because it's owned by somebody else. That's what I personally recommend if you're buying like used items, because that's like a real thing in my personal experience. Just make sure you cleanse all the items you buy that are used. Also, just wait for items to be on clearance or in like discounts when it comes to clothing. Wait for the right time to spend on that. Video about budgeting and reducing expenses, part number 4. So on clothing, ways to save money would be, for example, to make sure when you wash your clothes to follow the instructions carefully so that you don't damage your clothes and end up having to buy new ones. And then also make sure you buy clothes that don't require dry cleaning. That way you don't have to spend money on that. And also something that has nothing to do with money that I usually do when I purchase items would be, if I already know that I don't like to iron clothes, I usually buy clothes that don't require ironing so that I can save time. Make sure that you shop around for car insurance every like 6 months, because once your record clears out every once in a while, if you had like tickets or car accidents, you'll be able to qualify for better rates or better prices. And there's always like some discount that's coming up in companies that you might lose out on if you don't check every once in a while for shopping for car insurance to make sure you're saving. And then also consider having a higher deductible. That means when you have a crash, you pay out of pocket, let's say $500 to $1,000. The higher the deductible you pay when you have an accident, the cheaper your expenses per month. So if you pay a $1,000 deductible, it usually saves you, let's say, $100 to $300 a month. So consider that in order to save a little more monthly. I think one of the places that I've always had a hard time saving would be like birthdays and like events that you get invited to. Like it's really hard to say like, I'm gonna go to this event, I'm excited to go, but then you're like, oh wait, I have to bring a gift. And that is something you never count in your monthly budget. That's always unexpected, you know, or like holidays like Christmas or things like that. I would highly suggest like not having that mindset of buying stuff, because people usually have more than enough things already. Like that's what they're always trying to do, is get rid of their stuff and donate, because it's really hard to become a minimalist, right? So instead of giving gifts, you can always get creative and do like manual things, or cook for them. Like you can bake cookies for them, you know, or make like a snack bag, something homemade, you know, or you can always just give away a coupon for something. But I would definitely just stay away from spending a lot of money on that area. Usually people, what they appreciate the most is that you're present in their event and that you're there to share that special time with them, you know. For like hair maintenance, you want to consider trying like a cosmetology school. Usually they have a very reduced price for these type of services. And then for reducing your expenses in regards to household chores, I'll talk about that in part 5.